So the Bitcoin ETF is around the corner, and what does it actually mean for the price? It is a significant event. It will take Bitcoin from something that a bunch of tech nerds such as myself find interesting to play around with to a serious financial product by literally the biggest institutions in the world. And suddenly pension funds and other institutions can start directing a portion of their financial assets into this digital gold in a secure and fully transparent way. So long term, I think this will have a huge impact, but I've thought a lot about what will happen short term. And of course, I don't know any more than you do, but it's fun to speculate a little, isn't it? And perhaps we can find some clues through technical analysis, trying to uncover what the big players seem to be actually doing and not only listen to what they are saying. And of course, the short summary is that since the top in late 2021, Larsson Line was down the entire 2022. Then early 2023, we uncovered that something was happening. We identified the volume peaks that large players were re-entering. We identified that as 17,433. Then Larsson Line flipped gold at 21,000. People laughing, haha, lagging indicator. Today at 46,800, I don't hear anyone laughing anymore. Because since we identified that, price moved up, then moved into a 6 months long consolidation in a range that broke out here in October, continuing the move up. And if we now zoom out, sometimes these types of consolidation flags in technical analysis can be a midpoint pattern. So it is absolutely possible for this move to carry price up close to the next big resistance at 65k or all-time high. Or it stops a little before, who knows? But if there is an ETF approval this week... Hello?
Calling from US Exchange Commission.
No, please don't call me. If you have something, please send a written message and we'll have someone qualified look at it. Calling from the US Securities and Exchange Commission. Let me explain about our company. If the Bitcoin ETF is approved this week, I would be very surprised if there isn't at least a short-term pump, which could carry this a little bit further on that excitement alone. But, and here's the point of this video, then what? What's gonna happen when this starts trading? Are all the pension funds just gonna start pouring in the billions in the next day? And this will just go in a straight line up like this? Of course, it would be very nice, but if thinking logically, perhaps not. I think that it's at least possible that after the excitement is over and this starts trading and then not that much happens perhaps the first days or weeks, there could be a feeling of like, now what? I'm not predicting that this will happen. I'm just saying that I think it's a possibility. So I want to explore that scenario. So I'm ready in case it happens. So if that happens, today 46,800, perhaps it pumps a little bit higher, 50, 60, who knows. But perhaps then a now what feeling starts setting in and the billions are not coming in yet. Could there be a retracement then? I think it's at least possible. The first obvious major support level is this 40k level that I have drawn here. The next massive support is the 30k level. Is it possible that it retraces all the way to 40k or even 30k? In technology, the extreme outcomes are always possible. So if this happens, if we get a retracement to 40k support that holds, or even to 30k support that holds, those could be the entry opportunities of 2024 from a technical analysis perspective. I'm not saying anything revolutionary here, guys. It's support and resistance. These are 100-year-old principles. I'm just translating it into the chart that is unfolding in front of us. The even simpler observation is that Larsson Line is still gold. Throughout these moves, a lot of people have asked me, should I sell, should I take profits? And of course, I can't tell anyone what to do. I can just talk about the technical analysis. And since the breakout here with Larsson Line Gold, there has been no signs of anything else than continuation. Every single resistance has turned into support with Larsson Line Gold, meaning uptrend. and that hasn't changed today. Now this resistance can act as support instead. Look at the volume profile here on the right. A lot of BTC changed hands here at 44k. And I said that yesterday on yesterday's DCA stream before this had broken out. But after price had cleared this big volume peak called point of control. So this scenario that I just showed you is my scenario number 1 that I will be ready for in case it happens. So to recap, another pump after the approval, if it happens, but then a feeling of now what, when not that much happens short term in days or weeks, price retracing, finding support, and then as the actual big money starts coming in, we have a more sustained move upwards. If that doesn't happen, what would be the scenario 2? Well, my scenario 2 is actually that people are more prepared and ready than I thought. And that this actually just continues up. That's actually a harder scenario for people who are looking for new entries. Where is the entry then? It's very difficult to find a clear invalidation point when price has already run up this much from the actual correct entry. From a technical analysis perspective, that was all the way down here at 17,000, at 21,000. But where to enter from here is pretty difficult. But the good news is that if that happens, there's another opportunity that will come instead, because at some point this is going to flatten out. Say that it flattens out here and starts getting boring. What do people do then? That's when they are going to go for the altcoins. When is the time for altcoins? When is it alt season? Well, usually the times when the Bitcoin dominance, here the orange line, drops like a stone, are periods where Bitcoin flattens out at a higher level after a previous move up and then doesn't do much. Look here, for example, in early December, Bitcoin was in this range and started getting boring after a big move up. What happens then with altcoins? They pump, meaning Bitcoin dominance drops. So here was a big opportunity in altcoins. Let's find a couple of other examples. Same thing here. Bitcoin moved up in October, then it went into this consolidation pattern. That's when Bitcoin dominance drops. People move profits from liquid BTC into illiquid alts, which then pump more. You can find this in all the previous cycles. Bitcoin moves up, starts consolidating, Bitcoin dominance drops. Bitcoin price moves up, starts consolidating, Bitcoin dominance drops. So if the scenario of continued price rise followed by a period of consolidation happens, this would be the period of altcoin opportunities. And of course we will be able to confirm that with a trend change in the BTCD chart. Because while it looked like it broke, it was actually a fake. The uptrend in BTCD is intact. Larsson Line in fact never flipped blue on the Bitcoin dominance daily candles. Even though I thought it would, but it didn't. So again, the simplicity of the process beat any speculation, even my own. I'm not saying those are the only two scenarios. Of course, anything could happen here, but then we analyze that chart when it happens. I'm just saying that right now the trend is still up, Larsson Line is still gold, the chart patterns are still favorable, nothing has changed. I thought to mention a few other things. Lark Davis shared this, Standard Chartered, which is one of the big banks, posting some moon math, 200k coming. Standard Chartered, Bitcoin price upside from US spot ETF approval. Now with the ETFs, the banks are part of the ecosystems, so they have now a way to start marketing this to their clients in a secure and transparent way without a lot of the problems that the banks have had to deal with when it comes to physical crypto with scams and other things. So I think a marketing battle will now start between all these ETF issuers and the banks that are part of this ecosystem in a way that we haven't seen before. And we see this already in the price competition. The ETF issuers in the US have already started this fierce price competition on the fees, and the average fees here are about 0.5%, which is less than half of the average of the European issued ETPs are currently charging in fees, which is of course fantastic for consumers. But it also shows that there will be marketing efforts and real spend behind this to try to attract customers. I also think this post was so good by Eric Balchunas. ETF issuers in about 6 months. Look at me, I'm the crypto exchange now. What does he mean with that? He thinks that the spread, meaning the difference between the buyer and the seller, will be very low. He's writing 1 to 2 basis points. So that's 1 to 2 hundredths of 1%. At least for the ones that see healthy secondary market volume. And some market maker think it will be 8 basis points, which is less than 0.1%. Which is less than many of the exchanges are charging. And one final clarification, because this was actually unclear to me earlier. Max Kaiser, who is a Bitcoin OG, writes, when you buy any of the BTC ETFs, you're buying into an index product that tracks the price. You don't actually own any BTC. And Eric Balchunas says that this is wrong. He's saying, quick reminder, ETFs are depository receipts, so you do own the BTC or any underlying asset an ETF tracks. Your shares, also known as receipts, link to proportional BTC that has been deposited with a custodian. This is why ETFs are SBF proof, Sam Bankman-Fried proof. Now, it's true when you sell you can't get BTC back, but no one who would use ETF want BTC back. They'd rather have USD. That's the whole point of funds in general, to outsource all this to someone else. So it is real BTC that is deposited with a custodian, which is different from many of the price tracker certificate constructions that exist today, where the exact construction is more flexible. So quick summary, Larsson Line remains gold. I have 2 main scenarios from here, but of course anything can happen, then I'll take it from there. We've been spot on with analysis for another year of 2023, but it's important not ride on old achievements. Now we have to qualify again, rolling up the sleeves and starting 2024 with a beginner mindset. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsson out. Hej då!